Venkat Ramakrishnan, Srikanth, Savarkoti Senthil, Jiiva, and Panchavan Paravendan aka Perry, Vijay, are 3 first-year engineering students sharing a room at Ideal Engineering College's IEC dormitory in Chennai. While Venkat and Senthil are normal students from a contemporary household, Perry comes from a wealthy family. Venkat studies engineering over his own desire to become a wildlife photographer, but Senthil, from a poor family, studies engineering to improve his family's financial status and marry his sister. Perry, on the other hand, studies engineering because he is fascinated by machines and technology. He thinks that one should follow excellence, not success, as success will take care of itself if greatness is followed. The dean of the institution, Professor Veeramandi Virus Santhanam, scorns this method to learning, Sathyaraj. Virus and the professors favor Perry's classmate Srivatsan alias Silencer, Satyan, who prefers mindless rote study to achieve corporate prestige. Due to the disparities in their teaching techniques, Perry regularly spars with Virus and Silencer. When Perry, Venkat, and Senthil accidentally gate-crash Swetha's Anaya Bhagavath wedding ceremony to grab a free dinner, he falls in love with Virus' daughter Riya, Ileanadcruz, a medical student. Riya is unimpressed with Perry's pranks and complains about them to her father. Virus grows enraged with Perry and his pals, attempting to sever their connection by alleging that the wealthy Perry is a harmful influence on the less fortunate Venkat and Senthil. While Venkat refuses to end his friendship with Perry, Senthil believes Virus and distances himself from Perry, though they reconcile after Perry saves the life of Senthil's paralyzed father, who had suffered a heart attack, by transporting him to the hospital on Riya's scooter when the ambulance was late. Riya, like Perry, values realism and care for others, and she reciprocates Perry's emotions. Perry is top in his class in the annual test, while Venkat and Senthil are last. Perry, Venkat, and Senthil break into Virus's house intoxicated one night 3 years later, during their last year, to allow Perry to propose to Riya. Venkat and Senthil, both inebriated, create a commotion and pee on the front door before departing. Virus observes Senthil and threatens to deport him the next day unless he snitches on Perry. Senthil commits suicide by jumping from Virus' office window, but finds up in a coma because he does not want to betray his buddy or disappoint his family. Senthil, on the other hand, quickly recovers and abandons his fear of the future. During a campus placement drive, his candor impresses interviewers from a corporation, and he is hired. Meanwhile, Venkat successfully convinces his parents to let him follow his ambition of wildlife photography. Enraged by Senthil's achievement, Virus creates an unusually difficult final test in order to fail Senthil, as the job offer is conditional on graduation. When Riya discovers her father's scheme, she assists Perry and Venkat in leaking the question paper by giving them the keys to her father's office. Virus, on the other hand, captures them and ejects them, as well as Senthil, on the spot. Riya confronts her father furiously, stating that her late brother committed suicide because he was unable to get into IEC as his father had wished, despite his father's intention for him to become a writer. Swetha, who is expecting, goes into labor in the meanwhile. A violent rainstorm knocks out all electricity and floods the streets, rendering the ambulance unable to reach Swetha. Riya instructs Perry, Venkat, and Senthil through VoIP while they deliver the baby using available equipment and an inverter designed by Perry. Perry manages to revive the newborn infant after it appears to be stillborn. Virus pardons Perry and his buddies and lets them take their final examinations. However, after the convocation, Perry vanishes and goes into solitude. 10 years later, Venkat, who is now a successful wildlife photographer, and Senthil, who is married, has a decent middle-class life, and works as a software engineer at the firm he was 10 years ago, set off on a voyage to Uti to find Perry, because he is last believed to be discovered there by Silencer. Silencer, who is now a wealthy and successful professional businessman, is a vice president in his own firm, is married and has children in the United States, and is eager to close a deal with Kosaksi Pasapagaz, a prominent scientist and possible business colleague. Silencer's major goal in locating Perry is to see whether Perry is more successful than him. They bet on who would be more successful with their study methodologies in their first year of engineering. When they arrive to Perry's residence near Uti, they discover an entirely different man, the actual Panchavan Paravendan, S.J. Surya. Confronting Paravendan, Venkat and Senthil realize that their companion was actually an impoverished servant kid nicknamed Pappu. Pappu, who worked at Paravendan's home, enjoyed studying, but Paravendan detested school. Paravendan's father, Ajay Rathnam, consented to let Pappu study in his place instead of working as a servant after recognizing the boy's intellect. In exchange, Paravendan would keep Pappu's credentials and, after graduation, Pappu should cut all ties with him and his family. Pappu is currently a school teacher in Dhanishkodi, according to Paravendan. Later, Venkat and Senthil learn that after Perry vanished, Ria decided to marry her ex-boyfriend, a price-obsessed banker whom she had abandoned after Perry helped her understand that he loves his expensive stuff more than she does. After rescuing Ria from her wedding in Coimbatore, Venkat, Senthil, and Silencer travel to Dhanishkodi. Venkat and Senthil meet with a long-lost buddy at Perry's school. Ria and Perry rekindle their romance, and Silencer mocks Perry for being a poor schoolteacher. He requests that he sign a declaration of defeat form in exchange for losing the bet. Silencer concedes defeat after viewing Perry's signature, realizing that Perry is actually Kosaksi Pasupyagas.